Hello and welcome to ThePapare.com. This is the Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh pre-match chat show brought to you by JAT Holdings. The first test match was a high-scoring draw, and the second match is all to play for. Starts on the 29th of April in Pallekelle. To talk about the first test match and also about the second test match, I've got Farveez Maharoof with me. Farveez, your first test match as a commentator, how did it go? 17 wickets only, nearly 1,300 runs. What do you make of that game?
Batsman's paradise, isn't it, Damith? I'm sure all the batsmen would love to pack the wicket wherever they go. We all misread the wicket. To be honest, even I thought there'll be a lot of pace, a lot of sea movement on the first day, which it lacked. But overall, I thought, it's a dull test match, got to be said, and enjoyed my first test match. So, had a good time.
Is it with the soil which is used in Sri Lanka, Maha? Because whenever somebody sees grass in Sri Lanka, they get excited. But see the soil which is used to make these pictures, which we can't see that bounce, which we'll see in maybe in Newlands or in Waka.
I think when it comes to the countries which has more pace like Australia, South Africa, the soil component is much more than what we have in Sri Lanka. And if you take the international stadiums around Sri Lanka, as far as I'm concerned, I think Pallekelle has the potential to have much quicker wicket. But this time, for some reasons, maybe the wickets has not been used that much. It didn't have that pace. I mean, certainly it had the bounce. Even on the fifth day when Suranga Akmal was bowling, he still got that bounce. But just that there was not much seam movement. And also with the overhead conditions, it's very warm, humid. The hardness of the wicket doesn't stay for long. So that's where most of us got it wrong. When they won the toss, he mentioned that when he lost the toss, he mentioned that he was going to bowl first anyway. So I thought Bangladesh did it perfectly. Even in the combox, most of us thought we will have more seam movement, but nevertheless, it was not much. And also, the first hour, the way we bowled wasn't that good when it comes to test match bowling. I mean, there was too many boundary balls on the leg side. Suranga Akmal coming around the wicket straight away to a left hander. So all these things matter a lot. And overall, I think answering your question regarding the soil, in Sri Lanka, you can't do much when it comes to preparing fast wickets because I have played cricket for so long and I haven't experienced anything such. But especially also the overhead condition matters as well.
Exactly. Maha, once more, the batting clicked well for Sri Lanka. First 2 days, we thought Bangladesh they reached the highest score in Pallekelle, but Sri Lanka were past that. What do you make of that batting performance by Sri Lanka, especially by the captain Damith Weerasinghe, the highest score for Sri Lanka, highest test score for Sri Lanka since 2014, his first double century.
Magnificent. I mean, almost flawless both the batsmen. Was a lot commentating while they were batting it easier. I mean, bowling attack also very inexperienced except for the two spinners. The fast bowlers lack penetration, lack experience. So overall, I thought Sri Lanka went on leather hunt, which correctly you mentioned. Those two batsmen were just outstanding. I mean, I'm sure Angelo Matthews, the Osunda Fernando, Tirimana must be very very unhappy with this. I mean, they got a start, but just couldn't kick on. So I mean, as I said, it's a batsman paradise. Any day, any game, if a batsman gets a wicket such as that, I mean, it's a blessing for them. So when you get a wicket like that, not often you get wickets like that. When you get it, you got to make use of him. But overall, I thought Sri Lanka, where they were on the first innings to finish up, on a higher note in the second innings, especially bowling picking up those crucial wickets. I think going into the next test match, we will be a step ahead than Bangladesh.
Yes, now we talk about the next test match, which starts on the 29th of April. Farveez, Sri Lanka, they'll be without Lahiru Kumara. They don't have Dilshan Madhushanka also in the squad. Two changes, Chamika Karunaratne and Lakshan Sandakan has been added to the squad. Do you see any changes to that bowling lineup?
Yeah, Lail Kumar, obviously, as you mentioned, having a hamstring strain, as well as Dilshan Madhuskar, the young boy, has suffered a hamstring strain as well. So, Chami Karnath has made a deserving comeback to the team. I mean, he has a magnificent tournament domestic tournament for NCC. So, he deserves a go. But I think, if we have in Kandy, we have to play three fast bowlers. So I think it's going to be Asita Fernando coming in for Lairu Kumara, Suranga and Vishwa to continue, in my opinion. Only question mark would be whether to go with a frontline spinner. I thought Vanidu Hasaranga bowled well in patches in the first, but in my opinion, we got to play a genuine spinner. So I know it's just one test match. It's unfair on the bowler, but watching from the com box, it's craving for a Sri Lankan team is craving for a number one spinner, which is a genuine spinner. So that's where Lasith Ahmedon is missing. So that's a bit of a tricky decision that the selectors and the management got to make, whether to go with a frontline spinner or to continue with Vanidu Hasaranga. But batting order, it will remain the same. Bowling attack, goes out, Fernando comes in, and spinner-wise, there's a bit of a dilemma whether Vanidu Hasaranga will get a good at the go, or else probably, preferably, I think Praveen Jayakumar should make his debut, but it's all to play for. We don't know the wickets how it's going to be, so it's an interesting couple of days ahead.
Of course. If you are the selector, Farveez, would you give another go to Vanidu and maybe have Lakshan Sandakan and Vanidu both in the team? You said in Pallekelle we need to play three seamers, but we had that same combination for the first test, but didn't see much wickets falling. So don't you think maybe having two fast bowlers, two spinners strategy would work?
I mean, tricky one, because if you take Bangladesh strength as well, they are main weakness, and got to be said, the two spinners of Bangladesh bowled much better than us. That's where the tricky question comes, whether we play to our strength, which Bangladesh strength as well. I mean, that's a tactical decision the selectors and the management should do. Personally, I think even though Pallekelle didn't offer that much, as I said, we didn't bowl well in the first hour. That's where the game was lost. I mean, when I say lost, we lost the initiative. So I think personally, I would like to see three quick, right? And I would love to have Sandakan, but I just can't fit in because you need to play 7 batsmen, including Dhananjay De Silva. So it's a bit of a tricky one. That's why I said, I mean, also whether to, when we after the test match, we had a look at the wicket, which is going to be the second test match wicket. It had a lot of grass. So whether to leave the grass, whether to take off most of the grass. So those are the questions that the selectors and the think tank must be going through now. So as I said, it's going to be next 2 days. It's going to be very interesting to see what sort of a decision they're going to take.
Also, Farveez, finally, do you think the toss would play a role in this second game? Obviously, both teams are looking for a win to win the series. Obviously, do you think the toss would play a role?
I mean, definitely. Any game of cricket, toss definitely plays. So as I said, in the first test, both teams had different ideas. Come the second test, without seeing the track, I mean, I can't judge this going to be. But overall, I think always keep saying in any program of mine that in a one-day cricket, T20, probably the first 5 overs or maybe first 6 overs. One-day cricket and test cricket, the new ball counts. Especially in test cricket, where there is a bit of a grass, 3 moments is there, but the length, where we lost initiative, as I said, was the first cover. We tried too many things. we were not sticking to a plan. We were trying over the wicket, round the wicket, especially Sri Lanka. Should have kept over the wicket outside the West Ham, where he got two of his scalps in the second inning. So these are the little things that has to be added to the mentality. So overall, I think cost will definitely play a role, but attitude also matters a lot. And the first over, whoever does well the first over of the Test match will have a better say in the whole of Test match.
There you go. Farveez Maharoof reckons that the team who does well in that first hour or maybe the first session would have the upper hand in the second Test match, which starts on the 29th of April in Pallekelle. Thank you very much, Farveez, for joining with us on this pre-match chat show brought to you by JAT Holdings. We hope to hear from you and your analysis throughout the Test match and afterwards also on ThePapare.com.
Cheers, Damith. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Stay tuned to ThePapare.com as we bring all the photos, videos, everything from Pallekelle as Sri Lanka and Bangladesh battle out for the victory in this second Test match here in Pallekelle. Stay logged on to ThePapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub.
For premium content and exclusive member benefits, subscribe to ThePapare.com today.